Division 7A of the ITAA 1936 is an anti-avoidance measure which prevents private companies making tax-free distributions of profits to shareholders, which are disguised as advances, debt forgiveness, loans or other payments. Let's consider an example focusing specifically on the aspect of loans. Belinda Jones was advanced a loan of $200,000. The loan was made under a written agreement and for a period of 6 years. Under the loan agreement, interest is not charged until the beginning of the following income year, and no minimum loan repayment is required to be made until the beginning of the following income year. Can Division 7A apply to this loan? Initially, it is noted that loans that are fully repaid before the due date or actual lodgement date of the company's tax return are not treated as deemed dividends under Division 7A. If the loan is not fully repaid at this time, the loan will be treated as a deemed dividend subject to the amount of the company's distributable surplus. However, it is evident that the loan made to Belinda may actually be structured as a complying loan. That is, one that meets a criteria of a minimum interest and a maximum term. In this regard, we need to consider whether the loan falls under any of the exclusions from Division 7A, which tells us loans that are not treated as dividends. Based on the list of exclusions, it is evident that Belinda's loan is one that meets a minimum interest rate and has a maximum term criteria under Section 109N and will therefore not be a Division 7A dividend so long as the conditions are met. That is, that it is made under a written agreement, the rate of interest equals or exceeds the benchmark rate, and the term does not exceed the maximum term per Section 109N, subsection 3. The key condition that needs to be checked is whether the interest rate meets or exceeds the benchmark interest rate published by the Reserve Bank. The single loan provided to Belinda may also constitute an amalgamated loan. Amalgamated loans do not constitute a dividend in the year in which the amalgamation occurs, and do not require a repayment of principal in the year in which the loan was made. However, amalgamated loans do require yearly repayments of principal and interest in later years in order to avoid Division 7A deemed dividends in future years. So, we need to work out the minimum yearly repayments, and these are calculated according to a formula in Section 109E, subsection 6. For subsequent years, it is necessary to allocate that part of the previous year's repayment which constitutes interest versus principal. The interest portion is calculated by applying the benchmark interest rate to the outstanding loan balance calculated on a daily basis. The amount advanced to Belinda Jones will represent an amalgamated loan of $200,000 at the end of the year. The outstanding loan balance will be the original amount advanced plus interest less the minimum repayment made. Assuming in this case that Belinda did not actually make a repayment on the loan yet, then she did not meet the minimum yearly repayment, and as such the company will be taken to have paid a dividend under Division 7A. Where the minimum yearly repayments under the loan fall short of the required amount by the due date, the amount of the deemed dividend that arises is the amount of the shortfall in the tax year and not the outstanding amount of the loan balance. It should also be noted that the Commissioner of Taxation has a discretion in cases of hardship to disregard the failure to make a minimum yearly repayment. To recap, we need to understand that Division 7A can apply to treat certain loans as unfrankable deemed dividends, where certain conditions are met and the exclusions do not apply.